Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. Starting a little late today because, actually, wait, why is my green screen messing up? All right. We're starting late because Chris is normally here running most things, but he's flying today. And so I have to run it kind of on my own. And I was having trouble getting into the actual YouTube channel to run the stream. But it's working now. I'm back. Hopefully everyone's had a great week. Market has been crazy, as always, right? So that's what's happening. Again, good to see everybody. Sorry about starting a little late. I'm not going to do too much with the introductions. It's good for me to be back in the studio. It's just me today. I know last week we had some like different content, but this week it's just me. So I'm going to turn off my background and we're going to go right into the charts. Let's see. I'm doing it again on my own today. So normally we have a helper, so it's a little bit wonky. Let's see. Media off. Okay, there's the charts in the background. I'm going to shrink myself. You don't need to look at my face the whole time. Let's just go down here. That's a little bit too big. Let's go really small. All right, how about that? Yeah, I think that's acceptable. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if it's not loud enough, you want it louder, how the sound is. We don't want any sound issues if we can help it. All right, so let's start with what's going on in the news. Then we'll look at what the TRI dashboard is saying. We'll look at options really quick, and then we'll jump into what's going on in the market. All right, glad to see you, Megan. Nice to see you, old man Brian. Good to see we've got bunch of people on here. So guys, ask questions. If you have questions, comments, anything like that, just say it. I've got the chat right here. If you're listening on YouTube, but you're on Discord, post in the YouTube chat. It's kind of hard to have multiple chats going. Usually Chris filters and tells me, but because he's not here, it's best if you guys comment in the live chat and then I can change what I'm doing based on your comments. All right, good to hear the sound is spot on. I did test this mic a lot. Okay. So today is Thursday, the 420 for celebration for anybody who smokes. I don't. I've never understood the appeal of weed. It puts me to sleep immediately. I've tried it. As you guys know, I'm in Thailand. It's super legal here. It's basically feels like the weed capital of the world. There's 5 weed stores in a 2-minute walk of my condo. It's insane how many weed stores there are. But I've tried it, and all I do is fall asleep. I'm like, what is the point of this? I don't understand. So I don't do that. I don't like drinking alcohol either. I'm all about the caffeine. That's it. Caffeine all day, every day. So that's it. CBD oil does work a little bit. So I've used that, but I don't think I need the other side. I think I don't even know what it's called. It's CBD, and then there's the other chemical. The CBD is what helps you fall asleep apparently, but then I think the other one also has a strong effect. Tenerife, Spain is full of weed as well. I think Tenerife is also another tourist kind of destination similar to Bangkok. Maybe it's like a trend. THC, yeah, THC. Okay, anyway, you guys are here to listen about the market, not my opinions on weed and if it's good or not. Okay, so news today. We had consumer confidence come out from Europe, existing home sales from the US that came in below forecast as expected. I mean, obviously home sales, there's not going to be as many home sales when interest rates are 5%. It's just not going to happen. I think it's going to continue to get worse as long as interest rates stay high. We had Yellen speaking. I didn't even listen to her. I'm not sure if she said anything interesting. Usually she just likes to cause liquidity hunting in the market, which I'm sure we got, and we can go look at the S&P and see that. And then we had some bank people talking. Natural gas storage came out higher than normal, so that's probably why natural gas is dumping. And then we have Waller speak at 11, so maybe he's speaking right now. Yeah, we have a bunch of FOMC members speaking. I guess the market maybe wants to generate some liquidity to be generated and some stops to be run. So we need these guys to speak, so the market has an excuse to do this. And take your money if you're in any kind of short trade. Oh, that's cool. Look at my finger. Look at that. You see how it's like green because the tracking can't keep up and it turns green? It's like I have a lightsaber or something. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we'll look at FTM, Stelios. All right, let's go to the dashboard. So breath crossed over, and you can see breath is pointing down. We had a down cross, a quick up cross, and then a back down. So anybody that's been following has probably seen, we had a big bear cross, and you got the alert on Discord. Hopefully you like the alerts. We tried to make it like really stand out with the red versus green emoji colors. So you had that big alert, and then also look at crypto. Crypto fell off a cliff. TRI was long a bunch of crypto, and I exited right before Bitcoin fell off a cliff. I looked at it actually that morning. I didn't even have a chance to post to update, but I exited a bunch of TRI positions right before we dumped below 30K. It looked really bad, and we're going to get into that in a couple minutes, and I'm going to show you what I saw and why I jumped out of a lot of positions. And is this start of a big downtrend, or is this just a fake out on the continued uptrend? It's a big debate on crypto Twitter. There's a lot of people I follow that are very good traders, and even they seem unsure. They're like, well, we're not really sure. Is it, or maybe we can get a bounce and then continue the trend, or maybe this is the end of the trend and we're going to roll over and have a deeper pullback. Okay, so that's the breath. Everything's looking kind of bearish. If we look at options expiry for tomorrow, we can see that max pain is at 410, so that's 4100 on the S&P. So we'll also, when we go and look at the SPX, let's keep that in mind. That 4100 is the big number. I still feel like I'm a little too big. I'm gonna shrink myself down a little bit more. I guess it's okay. Let's shrink myself a little bit. There we go. Can you check the TrueBit protocol? TrueBit. Okay, so guys, what I'm gonna do is we try to keep this to about 30 minutes. I'm going to look at the S&P, and I'm gonna look at Bitcoin, and maybe I'll look at the total crypto, and that's it. And then in the after party, any coin requests you have, I will go through all of them and answer any coin requests you have in the after party. Okay, so let's pull up the charts, and let's start with the S&P on a weekly time frame. You guys know I always like to start on a weekly. Okay, let's clean this up. It's kind of messy right now. It's got my drawing from the lower time frame. I'm going to get rid of that really quickly. We don't need to see that on these higher time frames. Let's get rid of all these. Okay, visibility. We don't even need that there. Okay, perfect. This one, why is this one here still? Okay, there, good. So look, you can see the weekly is running into major resistance here. This is called my VIP level. This is an average of the past 1,000 RSI candles, essentially, and that's how we get this, what I call a VIP line, which works as a support and resistance zone. So right now it's running into resistance, and you can see it's turning. We had a brief breakout from this downtrend line, and we're coming back within the actual downtrend line, almost like this was a fake out. This weekly, if this breaks down, it doesn't look good. If I draw my standard RSI trend line like this, we actually broke down here back in February, and we're just retesting the underside. And this is a traditional short setup for me. The only way I can consider going long is if we break through. If we break through this VIP level, that's a serious new bull trending market for me. Okay, if that happened, I would jump on a lot of stocks quite hard, and I think we could really take off. And if that, let's say that does happen, right? Let's say that's a scenario. This would be considered a pretty decent W, right? It's not a perfect W, but it is a bit of a W. And this is how I would do chaos levels. And we would have a price target of 5,500, 5,400. That's where I could see us going if we break higher. But as of right now, it looks like we're running into resistance and we're going to roll over. Now, let me get rid of that. Let's go to a lower time frame. Get more data. Lower time frames are just more data. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. All right, 3-day. Yeah, Huffed, I can look at QQQ pretty quickly if we have time. Yeah, so look at the 3-day, right? So the same thing. Came, touched the underside, and now we're kind of reversing and rolling over. And we do have a 7 coming in. Let's go to a daily. All right, okay, here's our daily with all of our lines. Let me get rid of some of this. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of all these lines. It's just too confusing. So this is how I would draw the uptrend, like this, right? And there's your original breakdown. You could draw a second one like this. and it's just holding on right there. We want to see this line break down. You can see stochastic RSI has been embedded up here. We really want to see it roll down and go below the 50% level to see the market really roll over. We also have this big parallel channel here. And if you saw my post the other day, you saw that this was my squiggly line theory that I drew. And so far, so good. We rolled over, and I expect a small bounce, and we're getting kind of that bounce. I don't know why it seems like it got adjusted. It's like this. I expected a bounce into this lower level of this trend line, or I'm sorry, into the lower uptrend parallel channel here, a bounce up to maybe 4160, a touch of the channel again, and then a roll over. That is one potential scenario. Another scenario is we just do like this and we roll over. Those are kind of my two scenarios. We are running into this VIP support now on the daily. So that's kind of what's providing support, along with the fact that if we look at DXY, DXY has not broken out higher yet. It has broken up from the downtrend, and it's deciding, do I want to play in this area a bit like this, or do I want to break out higher? That's kind of what we're seeing here, and we want to see a DXY breakout higher in order to get the rollover in the market. Further, something important to pay attention to, and again, we're still talking about the S&P, the overall market, and I'm sharing the DXY and the VIX because these are two important metrics for helping you determine, is the market going to roll over or are we heading higher? So everyone's probably been hearing about what's going on with the VIX. The VIX is extremely suppressed. The lowest level it's been in since right here, November 2021. We're in 2023. It's a year and a half, right? So that shows how suppressed the VIX is. Considering everything going on, it's impressive to see that the VIX is this low. But it's touching the bottom of this parallel channel. So you know, the VIX has to reverse at some point here soon. I just don't see it going much lower than this. If it does break down lower, I mean, look out below. And the market will just take off and the VIX will dump, right? Because this is kind of the last line in the sand. It really is. We might be able to push a little bit lower, grab the liquidity here, something quick like this, like that. But I just don't see it happening. I think we're at a major support level on the VIX, and it's trying to turn here. You can see if we look at a 4-hour, right? So if this was my 4-hour, I draw my downtrend line like this. We're starting to break out on the other side of this downtrend line on the RSI. This is a red alert. This is basically saying, okay, get ready to start going long. You would go long the VIX here and expect upside. Now, how do you go long the VIX? Well, you start looking at puts on, you know, stocks that you think are going to go down, because when the VIX spikes, premiums on all options go up. So it's better to be long options than to sell options when the VIX is this low. You're not going to get very much premium, so you can get them for cheap. And then once the VIX spikes, right, we head up to 23 plus, that's when you exit your options and you start considering, can I sell options? Because now options are expensive. So just a little bit about options and how you would handle trading those. All right, so S&P still within this parallel channel, not a full downtrend yet, but it's not looking good at all. Especially on this 8-hour, you can see how, if I modify this second RSI line, right? So we had first the breakdown, which created the pause. And then we had, essentially, this is the rally area right here. And then here we have distribution. This whole area is distribution. That's why RSI is flat. And now we have breakdown of this distribution. This is the start of the breakdown. Okay. And now all we need is RSI will break down first, and then price will follow. And it will either go straight down after it breaks to the parallel channel, or it will do a retest and then down. Those are your scenarios. I'm trying to think, how can I share how I would play this? What would be a good short here? We go to a 4-hour, very messy price action. 41.10 was my max pain area, right, going into tomorrow, so possibly down here. I think shorting anywhere in this area is not a bad short. You know, even right here, and you just set your stop right above the highs. And our target, we use chaos, and we're conservative with our chaos. We just take the entire range that we've kind of been trading in, a conservative range, and we target right down here at 4,000 is going to be a big resistance level. So you just target that. That's your target right there. And then your risk reward is 3.7. It's not a bad trade. You could even go to the 2.618 level right below these lows. That's also going to be a bounce area. And you're at almost a 2-to-1, 1.8, not the best. You can lower your stop. And then you've got a 2.3-to-1. I prefer the 4.669 level. And for people who like to use levels, you can see how well chaos actually helps with this. So here's a horizontal line, right? So here's down here, I would draw a horizontal line like that, kind of line up with all these levels. Obviously a big level basically lines up right with that 2.618. And then we've got another line up here, and this is your next support level right there. And that lines up with the 4.669. So there's a lot of different ways to trade this. But and it's kind of interesting, right, that you could use chaos theory to get your levels. You could probably use fibs to get your levels. You could use just straight price levels. And all of them will probably give some slightly similar levels. So kind of something interesting just to point out to you guys. That's what I'm seeing for the S&P. Let's look at Bitcoin. By the way, Bitcoin is highly affected by the DXY as well because it's priced in US dollars. So let's look at this. And let's see what happened with Bitcoin. Let's go to a weekly chart. So here's a weekly chart of Bitcoin. I don't think it gives you enough information. You can see that stochastic RSI is rolling over. Last time this happened, it was just a pullback before a massive stop run and then another rally. But if you look here, the last time this kind of happened, when we had a rally and then a second rally, we created basically a divergence and then we rolled over hard right here. I'm thinking that something like that could happen again. Usually what happens is you get a spike, a second spike, and then you roll over. Although to be fair, in this situation, price ironically kept going up. And that's because RSI was so high and in the green zone, and that's why I have these green zones. Let's go to a lower time frame, get a little bit more data. You can see here, okay. This is RSI still embedded up there. It's really quite bullish. You have to go to these this daily time frame to see how price is behaving. And we can see that on the daily chart here, we almost have a bit of a divergence. Like RSI is making about the same high as the previous high, but price made a much higher high. So first you have that daily divergence, and then you also have the breakdown on stochastic, hard breakdown here. And we are coming into this. If I drew chaos on a lower time frame, let's look at an 8 hour. So so here's my chaos level drawn on the 8 hour, where you kind of had an M form and confirm. You can see also, right, if I adjust my RSI, this breakdown, this is a big breakdown retest. This was your shorting point right up here at 30,300. So when I saw this breakdown, this is what caused, I told you guys before, I sold most of what TRI was long in, and it was because of this breakdown right here. So I saw this breakdown. I wanted to see a bounce. I saw the bounce. And then when I got the bounce, I was like, okay, I have to exit. I have to exit. It's not looking good. It will most likely break down. We also had on a 1-day chart, you had a 7 and 8 print, right? So TD 7 and 8 came in. That's always caused, almost always caused a pause, and if not a pullback. You can see here, pause, pullback, and then trend, or I'm sorry, just range for a couple days. Same here, okay? We had a bit of a pullback, range, and then bigger pullback. So those were kind of my warning signs of why I exited those large TRI long trades. Okay, and let's go. Let's see. So going back to the 8 hour, because it gives us more information. This is kind of my predicted path for Bitcoin. So far, it's following it. We tagged this 1.618 level. And normally from the 1.618, we get some kind of bounce. So I'm looking at a bounce probably into this like 2900 zone, 29,200. That's one scenario. If not, we will just continue down, clear out all the liquidity down here at 2750, play in this area before we finally end up in our big chaos level zone plus major support if we look back at previous price action. See how it all kind of lines up? And if you look at the further downside, right, where is the next support? It's right down here. And where is 8.77? The next chaos level, 20,000. It all like it's amazing how it all perfectly lines up, regardless of what you're using to find your levels. As long as you are drawing them correctly, normally they will line up with other levels. And that it just works as a double confirmation. I like to see it. Anyway, these are my two paths. So one we just drop through, other one we bounce a bit, and then we start to roll over further. I think, you know, Bitcoin is not, I don't think it's still trending. We had a major breakdown on this daily chart. This does not look good at all. I mean, look, to be fair, on a 3-day, this is kind of your uptrend here. So we can break down all the way to 25,000, and I think we could still be considered an uptrend. RSI, as long as RSI is still right here, we could probably break down to like this area right here, and as long as we're still above here in RSI, we could still be considered in an uptrend. That's what you want to watch. Does RSI break down or not? If RSI breaks down, that's when, you know, it's possible we can roll over and start heading lower. But otherwise, I would see it as a pullback and a potential buying opportunity. Okay, hopefully that. How far into the stream are we? Let's see. 22 minutes in. Okay. Let's look at the total. Total 3, you know, is one that I was watching a lot and had a huge fake out. So look at this massive fake out. This is how evil the market is. This was a major long signal for me right here. Right. Yeah, right here on RSI and right here in price. I went long FTM, Mana, and what was the other one? Matic. Those are the three I went long in pretty decent size for TRI at these levels, and we did break higher, but then we ran into the 7, 8, and 9, and I was like, oh crap. Well, we broke above this downtrending channel line, and we held above it. And I was like, okay, maybe we just range a bit here and then we'll move higher. What triggered me to exit? Well, there were two things. One, the Bitcoin chart I showed you earlier, and two, this right here starting to form this lower high. When this started to form the lower high, I looked at lower time frames, 8-hour chart, same like Bitcoin. I drew my uptrend line right here, a little bit closer, right like that. And I saw that this breakdown might be coming. Bitcoin usually leads. If Bitcoin breaks down, everything breaks down. And this was looking like it was creating massive divergence. And this is where I got out right here. This is basically all the time I had. I got out right here. And then it just plummeted. So that's I'm on the sidelines now. I do have about, I think we have like something like a little bit of Matic left. I didn't sell all of it because we had quite a lot. I can't remember if it was Matic or FTM, but I sold about 85% of our longs that we were in. And I did post in my signal room very soon after I did it that we were out. Next time I think I will post, and as soon as I do it, I will post because those were trades that I was, you know, talking about in my signal room. And I think I told you guys like 3 or 4 hours after I actually exited the positions. So I will work on, you know, basically just posting I'm out of the positions sooner. Okay, so where are we at now with the total 3 and basically all the little altcoins, which is what this is, right? This is a chart of all the altcoins of all crypto minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. Where we're at support, right? But RSI is looking like crap. If we break down further from here, and just do like that, right? You know, and then where do you consider buying again? Well, I would draw fibs, and my levels would be right here. This is where I would have to consider buys down here. This zone, I could first buy at 61.8, then 78.6, then 88.6. Those are my 3 buy levels, and I would probably buy in bigger size on each one on the way down. So maybe this is like 1x, 2x, 3x size. That's a decent strategy for kind of dollar cost averaging on the way down. But what is the downside here? How much downside are we looking at? A solid, you know, if we go to 61.8, it's 12, 17, and then 20% drop in all the altcoins on average. That's a pretty big move lower. That's potentially what we're looking at. So short would be like this. Your 2-to-1 risk reward, not amazing. This is not a great area to short. If you were gonna actually short it, which I'm not. I'm not trading anything on. I don't want to use any leverage, which is what you kind of need to short. Although you could use 1x leverage, it's still margin, right? So you could wait for a bounce to here, right? And then you can short, which would cut down your risk a lot, because then you're shorting from here, your stop is up here, and your target is still, you can go to 88. If you go to, let's be conservative, let's go 78.6. Target is still here, and you get almost a 4-to-1 risk reward. Even if you went to 61.8, you have almost it's a 2.7-to-1 risk reward. It's not bad, but you need a bounce to that 390 billion level. Okay, so that's total 2, also not looking great. Yeah, let me look at what you guys asked for. So Hafed listens to me every week. I've got to take this request. I'm going to take his request. We'll look at the QQs, and then I think we're going to close this one, and we're going to go to the after party. All right, QQQ. NASDAQ QQQ. Daily chart. Let's go to a weekly chart really quick. Yeah, so QQQ also running into kind of that VIP level, but still looking strong, actually. No real breakdown yet. Just straight up, I really need to see a breakdown of RSI on this uptrend. It does look like it's starting to kind of put in a divergence here. So where price made a bit of a higher high, but RSI did not. You do have a 7.8 that's printed. And last time that happened, look what happened. We had quite the pullback. So I wanna see a breakdown though of this. Until then, the trend is intact to the upside. There's no trend change. We're still heading higher. So I would be careful with shorts. Just be careful, but understand that there are also some major short signals kind of printing, right? So if we look at this daily chart, right, we've got a clear as day divergence, right? So let me change this to red, make it clear. I'll make it a big line. So there's your right RSI making a lower low and price making a higher high. So, that is a divergence if I've ever seen one. And then also if we go to a lower time frame on like an 4 hour. All right, you can see how price also made an equivalent high, but RSI didn't at all. And looks like it's breaking down. Let me go back to a daily. I think it's more clear. But we're still in an uptrend. So bias is to the upside, but it does look like it's topping out. It doesn't look great at all. If we did roll over, where would we go? Probably down here, 286. Probably go right below this zone. Take out the liquidity, 285. That's where we would roll over to. Potential trade, right? What's the potential trade? Very simple. We could short right here, set a stop at the highs, and your target is right below these lows, and it's a 7-to-1 risk reward ratio. Could be a little bit more conservative, a little bit bigger with your stop, right, like that, and you're still getting a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio trade. Not bad, but it's not as clear for me as the S&P. It's really not. I wish I could say it is, but it's just, just not seeing any kind of breakdown yet. I want to see a breakdown here. And look at this bounce. But like I showed you, it has a decent P&L and potential if you short in this zone. If you wait until you're down here, you got a bit of a quite a bit worse P&L. Then you'd have to wait for the bounce here and maybe short. So that's what I'm seeing on QQQ. Hopefully that helps, Hafed. What did you guys ask for? Anybody else ask for anything? FTM is not in reload zone. Okay, so I'll look at FTM really quick, and then we'll do the after party, and I'll take all the requests from members there. Yeah, FTM, major breakdown. Look at this chart. Disaster. There's your uptrend, right? And there's your breakdown on the daily. Confirmed breakdown right here. Like this candle close was your confirmed breakdown. Ironically, no real divergence at all. where can we go if this confirms? Where do we go to the downside? Really low. It's like 2 cents. That's ridiculous. Let me get rid of this. It doesn't look great from an RSI perspective. Is this the after party already? No, this is not the after party, but I'm just doing one for fun. We have some time. It's 32 minutes, so I'm just doing this one for fun, and then we're gonna go to the after party, and I'll do everything else there. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's go to a little bit lower time frame, 8 hour. Major breakdown, extremely bearish for me. I don't see any bounce here. Can also see here, right? Nothing. It doesn't look good. This looks absolutely terrible. And I guess this is your ABCD to the downside. 40-cent target right here. That would be my first target if I was considering, say, shorting this. Maybe get a small bounce. Small bounce like this. And then you go down here. And you get a bounce here and a play in this area before you head a bit lower. And then this is your zone where you can start considering longs because this is the old lows. I have to see how price develops. But this looks absolutely like a disaster. Train wreck. Wouldn't touch it. Would only consider potential shorts. Yeah, that's what I think about FTM. I think somebody asked, is it in a reload zone? It's definitely not. This would be your reload zone would be down here, right? So you go to these lows. Reload zone would look like this, right down here. Potential reload zone all in here. You could set your levels, right? So you would have reload 1 here, reload 2, and reload 3, and then your stop is right here. So that's how I would play it if I was considering this. Yeah, old man Brian. It's a TRI membership only show. Anyway, okay. Hopefully that guy gave you guys some good value and you enjoyed it. Please don't forget, right? Like and subscribe. I feel so weird saying that because I watch so many videos where people say that, but it does help. So like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, give complaints, suggestions, how we can do better. And we'll try to keep making improvements. I'm gonna make myself bigger again really quick. Okay, it's like too big. You can see how my green screen is like a little bit fuzzy. I think I'm gonna get a nicer green screen. Josh told me, Josh is like our marketing guy kind of, slash video helper. He told me, Julian, you have to buy the $200 green screen. And I was like, I'm not paying $200 for some green thing that sits behind me. But I think Shud paid like 200 or 100 something. He paid a lot more than me. I think I paid $30 for my green screen. Get Julian off the show permanently for maximum. Ouch, 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 Mr. OTC. That hurts. that stings. Anyway, I'll get a better green screen so it's not so bad behind me. Maybe I'll spend $100 or something. Okay. Hope you guys have, if I don't see you in the after party, hope you have a great rest of the week. Brian's on tomorrow at the normal time, and I'll see you next week unless I see you on the show. All right. Thank you guys, and see you in the after party.